Okay, guys, it's recording, and Lisa's here with me too. And so, for those of you guys that don't that know, Lisa and I are in transition. We're going to make some news next week that there is probably about a 95% chance that Lisa and I are moving to Orlando, Florida, which is going to be super, super exciting. A lot of people don't know, but I'm kind of, it's just an exciting time. God's a God of change, and I am going with it and rolling with it. And so we are in transition. We're at our condo now. We thought that this place was going to be done 6 weeks ago, and it's not. And we found mold behind our dishwasher and the whole 9 yards. And so this week, but the good thing about it is God says it'll turn all things around for our good. And now we're getting brand new cabinets. We're getting marble countertops or granite countertops and everything that we didn't expect to get. And so that's an exciting time. So, and one of the cool things about that is that, like I said, God works it all out. So without further ado, I'm going to share some things at the end, and Lisa is, but I want to introduce my guest. And I know I lost you again, Jenny. I don't know where you're at, but I can hear you still.
I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So guys.
Hey, it must mean that.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
No, go ahead. I'm so sorry. I'm here.
No, you're good. I just can't see you because I don't know. I know you're there because I can hear you, but I can't see you, but that's okay. So guys, I have grown to love our guest tonight. And if you guys can look what I put on the screen, I follow Jenny. I've learned from one of my good friends, George Bryant, that we don't need to be friends with everybody on Facebook. And it's better that if we're not friends with a lot of LifeVantage people and that we just follow them. But Jenny is one of those people that I'm friends with, and I follow her. And I found this quote on her profile last week. And it says, "Pray for my business." It says, "Lord, I pray that you will let my business bring joy and beauty to the world that sometimes in the dark and the world that is sometimes dark and discouraging. Father, I pray that I would be at a bright spot someone's day." Guys, that's the type of person that I want to do life with and do business with. Jenny lives in Huntington Beach, California. She's the mother of 2 amazing boys, and she can probably tell you their names. I asked, and she didn't get back to me, so I'll just let her tell you about that but in a second. But she's married to her husband, Nick. She spoke at the last 2 Elite Academies, and guys, she's been my favorite speaker the last 2 Elite Academies because she's real and she tells her story better than anybody I've heard tell her story. And she's constantly now, I just saw the other day, she told her story with her husband, Nick, and she's just a recent recipient of the My Life Venture program. So without further ado, I know you guys can't see her, but I'm going to turn it to speaker view, and she'll just have to speak without being seen. So Jenny, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend. I can't see you, but I'll let you talk. Did we lose you now? We must have lost her. Jenny, maybe you can go out and come back in. All right, I'm going to wait for Jenny to go out and come back in, you guys, just because I think it'll be, maybe she's there.
Hey, Mike, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I've never had this. I must really need to speak to your team tonight.
You know what?
That I really need to say.
Yeah, you know what? There you are. Now you're there. Okay, there you are. Perfect.
I'm praying. Oh my gosh,
yes.
Lord.
Oh, isn't that funny? Isn't that? It's so funny that's how it always happens. Whenever you're supposed to talk, that's how this works. And so we're just going to let you run, and we believe that tonight is going to be
perfect.
And when I told Jenny, said to me, "What do you want to share today?" And I said, "Jenny, why don't you pray and share whatever God puts on your heart?" And I think that kind of caught her off guard maybe a little bit, because she's like, "What do you want me to share?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let her share from her heart tonight. And you know what? She went away again, but I know I'm just assuming it's that she's probably, because she's not on Wi-Fi and she's in her car, but I'm just going to let her talk. Jenny, why don't you take it away?
All right. Thank you, Mike. And, I am so honored and grateful not only to be building this business alongside the quality and caliber of leader that you and Lisa are, but truly I admire you as well, because I know that you're leading from your heart. And you're just somebody that I look up to so much. And I'm so thankful that this business and this company has brought us together, and your team. You have an incredible team of people that are blessed to have you leading the helm and leading the way. And so thank you. And guys, with that being said, since we've had the roadblocks of technology today, I want to tell you a little bit about my story and also talk about roadblocks that come our way as we're, building this foundational business and inspiring people and speaking into people's lives. And, I want to start this call off by saying that for me, especially, my journey here at LifeVantage has not always been easy. And I truly believe that when we're given a calling in life, God's going to do the things in our lives that he needs to do to lead us to where we need to be. And so I was introduced to LifeVantage in January of 2012 by my sister-in-law, Carrie Dickey. And at the time, Nick and I were devastated by the real estate industry. I had been in the mortgage industry for 9 years, and I was a primary wage earner at the time. And most of you guys know what happened when the housing market crashed in 2009. Well, we were completely dependent upon this industry. And so after this happened in 2009, coming into 2010, I was pregnant with our younger son, did not have a college degree, nothing to fall back on. So I can remember being on my hands and knees at our house in Dana Point, just praying for an answer. I didn't want to have to leave the kids. I had just had a brand new baby at the time, and we were really just searching, and I thought, oh my gosh, like, I don't have anything to fall back on. Like, what am I going to do to be able to contribute to the household? And, I truly believe that sometimes it's in our, deepest sorrows and sometimes the depths of our lives where things just don't seem to be going right, that God shows up, right? And he totally did. And he showed up in the form of Carrie Dickey, letting me know that I needed to take a look at this ABC primetime investigative health report. And I can remember where I was at the exact time when I saw that video. But, I got that glimpse of hope. And I thought, if this is real, and if this is something that I think is real, then this could be our answer, right? This could be a way that would enable me to be able to stay home and raise our kids and be able to contribute to the family. And, I had that dream and desire, but I have to tell you, my first 3 years in building this business, I could say that I experienced more downs than ups, and I remember that there were times where I just felt like throwing in the towel and, God, is this really something that you have for me? But really through it all, he's always shown up for me, and he always kind of kept me on the path. And in fact, I can remember it was probably about February of 2017. I went to my husband and I said, you know what, babe, I don't know if this is for me. Like, I just can't seem to make this business work. Like, maybe I'm just one of those people that isn't cut out, maybe it's for everybody else. And, I really started having those doubts. And, I have to say at that time, it was my husband that picked me up and said, babe, you got to keep going with this. You've poured your heart, your soul, everything that you have into your team, and you can't give up now. You've come too far. And I just have to say, for anybody out there that has felt at a place in their business where, maybe you're thinking it's happening fast enough, or, maybe you've been discouraged by certain things in your own life that are, roadblocks, things that we don't have control over right away. But what I have to tell you is that you're here for a reason and a purpose, and we're here for a bigger purpose and a bigger calling. And I just want to share a more personal story about some of the things that I've been dealing with this last week. Nick and I were pushing for a pretty big goal in our business this last week, and I literally holed myself up inside of my room. I had my mom come over to help take care of the kids, and we're just so committed and attached and like pushing and doing, really trying to hit this pretty big goal. And we fell short. So close yet so far. And I remember being so frustrated. I actually lost it on the kids, and Nick's like, babe, like, why are you, just so attached to the result? Like, why isn't this happening? Why didn't it happen? And, there were really not no boundaries within myself. And what I realized, about a day later is I was making it about me. This goal that we were trying to make, I made it about me. I was so attached to the result of trying to reach this goal that I lost sight in this moment, in this very small moment, of what's important and really what truly we are doing in this business, and when we make it about us, that is when we lose sight of the greater calling. That is when we're attached to, the goals we're not able to meet, or maybe it's not happening fast enough, or, this person quit my business and I'd worked so hard to help them, or, whatever it may be. But you guys, what we have to realize, if I could give you any piece of advice or anything that will help hold the light when maybe it feels so dark, is that we really are here to serve and empower others. We really are. And as leaders, sometimes we have to have that belief and we have to hold that light for people that don't see it at the time. And this can be a hard thing. Carrying the torch can be a hard thing, right? But what we need to understand is that when we have the proper mindset of understanding that it's not about us, I can remember when I first started presenting all these years back, Carrie would just throw me in front of the room and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. Like, this isn't my timing. What is she thinking? But ultimately, she was the one that really gave me a really awesome piece of advice that I'll never forget. And I'm going to share this with you guys is anytime that you go up there and you feel nervous and maybe you're feeling unsure about what you need to say, or, you're just feeling terrified or scared, you need to reverse the way you're thinking and make it about the people that you're there to serve. And when it's about you, that's when you have all those doubts and like, what are people going to think about me? Or maybe I'm not going to say the right thing. But what you have to understand is that we're here to really empower and inspire others. And when we make it about other people and not about ourselves, that's really the most, every time I'm in that place in my business, that is really honestly where it gets blessed the most. And when we're able to really bless others. And so, I really hope that you take that away and understand that, when you're growing in leadership, your business is never going to be bigger than you are, right? We're constantly going to that next level. We're never there. We've never really arrived. If you truly think about it, that's what I love about network marketing is that you're always pushing, to be better and to serve others. And, when we're really in that place of, my light went off. When we're really in that place of service and understanding that we're here to offer hope to someone, we always have to be in that place because, when we make it about us, then things can kind of go haywire. And so, really, it's just truly a blessing to be building this business alongside people like Michael and Lisa, because they as well, I know, have this calling. And so I hope that whatever it is and whatever you want to achieve in your business, that you get really focused. Another thing that I want to touch on, you guys, is focusing on income producing activities. Because a lot of the time, especially if you're building on Facebook, right? If you're building through social media, it's so easy to, get caught scrolling through Facebook or, maybe getting into management mode with our team. And it's really important if you want to grow your business to be consistent and focus on income producing activities. And if you don't know what those income producing activities are, I suggest you sit down and write a list for yourself, right? Every day, what are the actions that I'm going to take every day that's going to get me closest to my goal? And focus on those goals. Focus on the things that are going to benefit you. One of the things that the place in my business that I've been in the last 6 to 8 months, as my business has really been growing, is really getting it stuck into the management mode aspect of things. Like, your team's getting bigger. This person's got this issue they need to figure out. This person's got this issue. And before you know it, at the end of the day, you're fielding the fires and you haven't done anything to pour into your business or to grow your business. So I want to encourage you, especially for those that are new and maybe, coming into the Pro 3 to Pro 5 ranks, you're going to really want to be focused on income producing activities for yourself. And sometimes it's so much easier to like pull people along or get into management mode. But I would love to inspire you guys to really set that foundation and understand what those are and be consistent in achieving those every single day. And then also setting boundaries, right, for the people that you're building your business with. One of the things that I've really had to work on is because I'm a helper. I always want to like be there. And really at the end of the day, we're empowering leaders, right? We're not bosses. We're not managers. We are here to empower the people underneath us, our team, to be successful. And for me, it must be a little bit of the control freak thing too. I don't know, but it's so easy to just handle the situations. And really, we need to empower and grow and raise up leaders. And so it's okay to have those boundaries. It's okay to really understand, the focus is your family, number one. And that's also a thing that I learned in pushing for this goal this last week is, by no means is it going to be best to reach this goal if it's going to sacrifice, everyone in the household suffering. So it really brought me back to the fact of what I set out to do this business in the first place, is to have more time with my family and to be there. So just keep your priorities in straight and your mind straight and just what you are doing this business for. And I truly believe that you're going to see that growth. And, you know, with leaders like Michael and Lisa leading the helm, you know, get out there and do the things that are going to grow your business every single day. And every time that you overcome fears in your business, you know, you're going to be able to light that path for the team that you're raising underneath you. And sometimes it doesn't feel easy to be able to overcome those fears or move past the things that we need to do to grow our business. But every time that you reach those goals, you know, you're really going to be able to share that with your team when they're struggling. And, you know, it's always a growing experience, growing into leadership and growing, you know, teams and people. It can be a challenge at times. And with each new rank, you're going to have new challenges. But certainly it doesn't mean, you know, throw in the towel by any means. You have to keep that vision, keep your mindset right, you know, understand why you're doing this in service of other people. Whatever it is that you started out to do to achieve in this business, you've got to keep those, you know, goals in the front of your mind. And, you know, of course, having incredible leaders helping you along the way, it really is, it makes all the difference in the world. So, Michael, I don't know if you want me to share anything else, but that's kind of what, you know, I felt, and hopefully you guys heard what I had to say.
Well, yeah, that's great. I don't know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me okay, Jenny, now?
Yes, I can hear you.
So
you sound a little bit far away.
I took some notes. So I just wanted to tell you guys that if you guys noticed, and Jenny, just so you know, we just finished a series on the power of 5. So we took everybody
Awesome.
in our group, everybody in our group, and for you guys that don't know, Jenny is the one that encouraged me to get the book, to get the videos, to do the study, and guys, it was powerful. If you guys notice what she said, and she's kind of frozen, maybe she'll come back on in a second, but think about what she said. She said we need to empower people, right? And when she said significance makes it about other people, we've heard that on John's videos, right? No management mode, right? She talked about not being in management mode, right? And so think about that. She also talked to, guys, I learned this, and Jenny, I know, will be encouraged by this, and she keeps moving in and out, so I'm hoping she's able to hear me. But I learned about income producing actions from a 17-year-old named Caleb Maddox, okay? And Jenny, this will be something for you. I don't know if you follow Caleb, but and have your kids follow him, but I've become really good friends with Caleb and his dad, Matt. Matt actually lives not far from us here in St. Petersburg, and Caleb moved to Phoenix, Arizona. But Caleb told me that he spends a 5-hour part of his day on only income producing actions. So what he does is he takes his phone and he turns it off and puts it on silent mode for 5 hours, and he only focuses on things that are income producing. So guys, I'm gonna let you guys do this before we move on, because if it's okay with Jenny, I hopefully she'll be able to be on, but I'll unmute her because she's kind of muted. But if you guys have questions, because I'm going to ask her at least one question. So if you guys have questions, just unmute yourself or put a question down. Does anybody have a comment or a question for Jenny? Don't be shy, you guys. This is a perfect time for you to make a statement or something you learned or ask a question. Does anybody have one?
Do you, this is Stacy.
I'm back, Mike.
Go ahead, Stace.
Do you have yourself a goal setting, and do you do the 3, 6 month and 1 month goal setting?
Did you hear that, Jenny?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, part of our training is, you know, goal setting mastery. So absolutely. And, you know, as your business grows, your goals are going to change. So I believe, you know, goals are one of those things that you have in front of you. You have those short-term and those long-term goals. And I like to map mine out for the year. And then through each month, you know, I have the short-term, like daily goals, weekly goals, and monthly goals. And then as I go throughout the year and like trying to hit those goals, you know, they change as, your business grows and you're seeing success. But I definitely think that it's super important to have those short term and the long term. And I found it really helpful to be able to break them down more specifically. For me, I'm like one of those people that's kind of more in the moment. So, you know, I do things like I try to plan my day the following day, the night before. And so I'll come up with even like a specific daily goal for the following day, which, whether it be getting in front of one new person and sharing the business, or, helping a team member rank advance, or, get, whatever it may be. So I definitely suggest having those short and long term. And if you're just starting the business, I think the daily goals are huge. We're talking about the income producing actions, your daily goals, and the consistency. I think so many people want to kind of skip and get the results without understanding that, like, you're laying a foundation in this business, you're growing an organization. And so it's really important that you keep, in mind that you don't want to get overwhelmed by having too big of goals that you're not able to achieve. Whereas if you look at them in smaller pieces or smaller bites, it's easier to kind of achieve those goals because you're not really putting more on yourself than you need to. A lot of the times it's just getting through the day, right? Figuring out who you're going to share the business with, following up, some of these different things. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, that helps.
Thank you very much.
Helps me.
And sharing them with your, with the people that are your support team. One of the biggest things that we do, we started a leadership call with all of our leaders, like our Pro 4s and above. And we actively share our goals with each other. Like, we know what each other's goals are, because when you have that accountability for achieving those goals, it really helps to have somebody that you're running with, and somebody that, may be at the same place and time that you are with your business. So it really does help to share those goals and to have accountability. And that's what true leadership does. We hold each other accountable. Certainly we are not going to beat you over the head to like make you build the business, but when you understand and you're committed to your goals and you have people helping you, holding you accountable, I think it's much better to, be able to achieve those by having that accountability.
Awesome. That's good. Stacey, I don't know if that was good for you. That was good for you. Good
Yes,
for
it was.
Yeah, and this for you guys and this for Jenny too. Some of you guys have been, Marcel has encouraged us to read Brian Tracy's book, Goals. It's phenomenal, right? It's phenomenal. And he talks about what Jenny just said, weekly, monthly, and yearly goals. Like, Jenny's a big John Maxwell fan, and I got blessed to be a part of the 15 Laws of Growth Leadership group. And I asked John a question, and I said, why was intentionality the first chapter in your book? And John said, it all starts with intentionality. And I said, I think when you set goals of weekly, monthly, and yearly goals, you're being super intentional, super focused, and goes back to holding yourself accountable. Guys, I have 2 accountability partners that hold me accountable for my health. I'm the healthiest I've been in my life. For my relationship goals with my friends and my wife and my church, and encourage me to pray more and to read the word more and do all these things. When you have those type of goals that are structured and intentional, a lot of things will happen different. So I don't want to take up the whole time. Does anybody else have another question or so?
Hey, Mike, this is Chris. I do.
Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, I think Jenny hit it right on the head
Hey,
when
Chris.
she said that. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for everything you said there. There was a
Hi.
lot. There was a lot in what you said that has literally been my life in this business. And what I really like that you said is that this will come at your time. It's not going to happen just because it happens for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years for other people doesn't mean it's not the end for you. I feel like sometimes people get frustrated. They see somebody come into business and in 2 years there's a Pro 8 and you're just like, man, I just killed myself for 5 years and you just did it in 2. But I mean, we don't know their backstory. We don't know their, we don't know how big their list is and the people and what they might have done and how much value they brought to people before, and then, made it easier for them to bring in. So there's always something that goes with that. And then there's just hustle. There's just people that go out there and they make it happen because it's their goal and they drive. But this is going to come a little bit of a surprise because this is the first time either Mike or my team is actually hearing this. I am coming on the 4 years into LifeVantage, and I'm a Pro 4. And it's really funny because when you said, maybe this is just for other people, this isn't for me, because I'm good at my other job at what I do. and I can make a really good living at that job. But I also know that there's a bigger picture for me. The picture of, and this just past 2 weeks was the vacation that I took with my wife and daughter. And those are the moments that I want more of. And I can't get more of that unless LifeVantage comes and unless I work this business and build what I need to build. And I thought for a moment there, like I probably would say I had 50-50 ups and downs so far in this industry. It's the first time I've ever done this. I haven't had I had great success in enrolling in customers and distributors, but it's, you kind of get to that point where people drop off, and you worked very hard to get them into this business. You worked with them, and you shared a lot of information, and you spent so much time doing phone calls and driving to them and doing meetings, and then all of a sudden they just walk away, like they just drop it. And I don't have that quit attitude, and it's what keeps me fighting in this business, and I will continue to fight in this business because I can't walk away from things. My manager at my job says that, if I'm walking away from something, it's because it's a deal that's affecting my people. And that's never a good deal for me. If it's going to bring in revenue, great. But if it's going to affect the people that are working in that place to bring in that revenue, then it's not a good deal. And that's the only time I ever walk away from something. I will give it 150 tries before I finally say, okay, this is enough. So that's where I am with LifeVantage. But I have been in that moment where I'm like, you know what, this is just made for certain people. And maybe it's not me. And maybe it's just time to focus other directions. And I had such a long period of time with no vacation, and I would just work. And then I went on vacation, and then it hit me. This is why I'm in LifeVantage, to help people achieve this type of lifestyle. And that's what I'm going to focus on. And if I continue to focus on that, I don't think I'm going to have a problem succeeding in this business.
I love it, Chris. Wow. Well, I can tell you're empowered with everything you need to be successful just by, hearing you on the phone. And, one of the biggest things is comparison's the thief of joy. Don't ever compare your journey to anybody else. I've been in this business now going on 8 years, and it took me, so long to even get to 7, but you have to keep going. I look at this business in a way as I look at my marriage, right? You don't get into it with the escape or the out, right? For those of you that are committed and you look at it, you go into your marriage thinking like through the good, the bad, the ugly, the hard times, I'm going to stick it in until we figure it out. And there's never a moment when everything is ever going to be perfect. But when you go into it and you commit with the fact that, like, look, I've made this commitment to LifeVantage. I've made this commitment to my team. I've made this commitment to myself. I'm not going to quit on myself, because at the end of the day, you have to determine, what you're going to allow and then what you're going to fight for. And I truly believe that it's just, growing, making sure you're committed to the income producing activities and figuring it out from them. But I honestly, truly believe, Chris, you've got everything that you need to be successful, and just keep on going, just keep on going and stay committed to what you committed to. And I have no doubt that this is going to just, grow for you, and the success will come. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to take one more, Jenny. Thanks. I'm going to take one more, because I want Jenny to be able to get back to her family, because it's still early out there. It's late here, but I'm going to let one more person. Does anybody else have one more question? And then I'll let Jenny go. Does anybody else have one more question?
Tracy Shudo would like to ask Jenny a question, and maybe to Michael too. Jenny, you said that at Pro 4, Pro 5, or whatever level, you were quoting that you guys have an accountability group. But there's people that are still at Pro 1s or trying to be Pro 2s or stay at Pro 2s or whatever. And I would like to use the word, sometimes I feel lost. So that's why I am so excited about this accountability group that Michael and Lisa have brought to the table. And I thank the Lord all the time that I've been brought into this group. And I've been brought into LifeVantage because it's saving my life. But I think we also need to remember about those first timers, or those people that are still at the beginning stages, and don't leave them floundering.
Amen. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so sorry, Tracy. You kind of cut off at the beginning or the very end. I didn't hear. Was there a question you wanted?
No. She was just saying
Okay,
that.
sorry.
She was saying she was grateful for having accountability and holding that. And you know what? And if there's one other person, if you guys want to jump in, as I say, but I'm just going to say this. I actually found a screenshot that I saved, and I just read recently from Jenny, and she'll recognize this. It says, "Ask questions," right? And be genuinely interested when listening to people's answers, right? Think of 10 things that the person you're talking to needs to, you know, think about 10 things about that person, right? And understand their pain and provide a solution. Guys, you know what I watched? I watched Jenny do that with us on a regular basis. She does that when she's sharing with people, and when people come onto her calls, she acknowledges them and she goes back and answers. And one thing that I think is very, very big that I hope all of you took away tonight, and if there's somebody else that has another question, I'll let that one more person go. But I have learned that the most important thing is this income producing activities, not the scroll like. Your time on Facebook should be creating content, giving value to people as much as you can possibly give. And obviously you have to respond to people, which is good. I found out from a friend of mine that's been working at with Facebook that you should always respond with 6 words, which helps your algorithm. And Chris just said it, I spend more time on distractions. And so what I've done is I've eliminated those times. So Jenny, what's that? I asked it. Do you have something you want to ask? Guys, just thank you, Jenny, so much. It's always an honor and a privilege when we bring people on these calls. I thank God for you. I thank God that, as you said, we get to do business with people that are like-minded like us. And when we get the opportunity to do that, it makes life that much more better. So thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And I hope you have a good rest of your night. Say hi to Nick.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. Guys,
Yeah,
it says
and
bye.
I so
Guys,
apologize for the
no, you're
I so
fine.
apologize for the connectivity.
Ginny, you
I've
rock.
never had this
You
happen.
rock.
Oh my God.
You're fine.
Oh, we love you guys. Well, thank you. Anytime, you guys, one of the things, Mike, I don't know if you have my DMO for
I lost you. Jenny, are you still there? I'll let Jenny finish here.
Are you there?
Are you still there, Jenny? No.
Thanks so much, Mike. I'll be in touch with you. There's a few tools that I'd love to share for your team.
Okay,
like
I would love that. Thank you so much. So guys, here's
yeah,
what
I'll send it over to you.
Okay, cool. I'm going to finish up tonight with you guys on something that I've become very passionate about the last couple weeks, and it's been these NADs and the sirtuins. So I'm going to do a little bit of education with you guys tonight. I hope it's good for you guys, because it's been very, very good for me to educate people. We have been having a lot of people just ask us, you know, how can we be educated to understand this a little bit more? So the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time just acknowledging for you guys how these sirtuins work. And so, guys, it's a really big deal. And I've shared some of it with you, but these sirtuins help your body regulate cellular health. They play a massive role in aging. So here's what I want you to know about how they actually work, okay? And what they can actually do for your body, and why you're going to use NAD to help it function, right? So sirtuins, they're a family of proteins, right? They play a role in aging and cellular health, and they're also responsible for actually the very critical biological functions like DNA expression, the aspects of aging. But here's what I want you to remember. Sirtuins can only function in the presence of NAD, which, you know, there's a long word for it. It's nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. It's a coenzyme found in every single living cell. So here's what you have to remember about supplements. They're non-cellular, and then we have cellular. We are actually working on the cellular level. It's why things are next level when you think about what we are actually teaching with LifeVantage and with this, with NAD is because it's next level, guys. And so that's why I'm telling you guys, as we go through this, you need to understand this. So here's what's the big deal about sirtuins. So here's how they regulate our cellular health with NAD. I want you guys to, and I'll give you guys a download of this if you want it. I took some notes and I downloaded it into a Word document, and I will give you guys this. I will post it inside our Facebook group. You know, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just go ahead and post this so that you guys can have more access to it, but that way you'll understand the sirtuins a little bit more, okay? So sirtuins are proteins. What does that mean? Sirtuins are a family of proteins. Proteins sound like a dietary protein, right? It's found in beans and meats as well as protein shakes. But in this case, we're talking about molecules called proteins, which work through the body cells in a different number of functions. Think of proteins as a department at company, each one focusing on its own specific function, right? So a well-known protein in the body is hemoglobin, okay? Which is part of the globin family. This represents transporting oxygen to your blood. A lot of people use a beamer, which is a magnetic mat that you lean on that increases hemoglobin. So it's a counterpart. Together they make up this family of hemoglobins, right? So your body has nearly 60,000 families of proteins. A lot of departments, the sirtuins are one of those families. Well, hemoglobin is one in a family of 2 proteins. Sirtuins are a family of 7. Of the 7 sirtuins in the cell, 3 of them work in the mitochondria. 3 of them work in the nucleus, okay? And however, they play a basic role in increasing these sirtuins. So there's a lot more stuff that I will go into. I'm not going to go into all of it tonight, but I just want you guys to know that the reason that these products that we have work together and function in this form is because together they all make each other better. That's why you should, at the minimum, you should constantly be getting all of your customers on the Tri-Synergizer. So I know you guys will have more questions about that, but I'm going to post that Word document on our Facebook pages. But guys, I'm super excited that we had Jenny on tonight. I'm super excited about our accountability call. If any of you guys, after hearing Jenny, want to join our accountability call next Sunday night before this call, it starts at 8 o'clock. I'm excited to have more of you join us. And so I'm going to end the call. If does anybody have a question or a comment about tonight, or just want to say something in general? If you've already talked, kind of leave it for new people, but does anybody else have a comment or a question?
I got a comment, Mike. It's Ben.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say that I'm excited about the accountability calls at 8 o'clock. And it's time to get intentional with this. And we have a bunch of wonderful people in this company. And I just want to say that I'm grateful for Chris and sticking with it, even though he said it's, he's not sure if that's what he does, because he is a great leader. And he is the reason why I joined this company. He was the first reason, because of the type of person he is and the things that he values and the leadership that he is, that he gives off. And I believe in that. And that was my first believer, is that if I'm going to join this business and have this guy next to me to go with it through me, then that's incredible. And then the domino effect that has happened from that, and the people that I've met on this journey have been incredible. And when you surround yourself with more and more people that are trying to get to where you're trying to go, and everybody's helping each other, it's priceless. And so I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate Chris, and I appreciate everybody that's on this journey with us.
Awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. See, and even Carlos says, I can identify with Jenny and her struggles like her. I'm not quitting, knowing my time is coming. Thank you for all you do. Yeah, and that's what this is about, guys. Thank you, Ben, for sharing. Guys, I'll see those of you that want to be on the accountability call. It starts at 8 o'clock next week. I'll see you guys at 8:30, those of you who are not. And guys, let's go to work. It's a new month. We had a great month last month. let's go and enroll some people this week. Let's get some new distributors this week. All right, guys, I love you. Have a great week. Love God and live with passion, guys. Go make it happen. Appreciate you all.